You and your Google Maps.
Welcome to Scary Mystery Surprise,
where we talk about scary things that surprised us around the internet.
I'm Edwin.
I'm Michelle.
We're going to go down to the Death Valley Junction in Nevada. There's a place called the Amargosa Opera House and Hotel.
Because I think Zach Bagans went to this place too.
He did go. I see it here on my notes. He did go. Anyway, okay, so it's in California. But anyway, this place was visited by the Ghost Adventures crew. And this place is actually still working. Like, it's still in operation. And it was constructed like over 100 years ago. We'll pick up the story here by meeting this woman. Her name is Marta Beckett. So she was this actress, ballet dancer, artist, and a mime from New York City.
Yeah, you always have to stack your talents when you're creative. Got to make sure you tick all the boxes. And she can mime.
Chasing some of those talents eventually led her to, she ended up on Showboat, dancing at Radio City Music Hall and on Broadway in New York City. She got married in 1962 and started touring the country. And for years, she was traveling and performing, attending some type of event, like all the time. But it was in 1967 when her and her husband, actually, they took a vacation by camping in Death Valley, California. And by pure chance, their trailer got a flat tire, and they were directed to the town of Death Valley Junction in order to repair it. Kind of sounds like a Hills Have Eyes type of thing here.
It really does. Yeah, just go on into town. They'll take care of you there.
But then she started exploring and fell in love with the place, with this old theater that was there, and she wanted it. And she felt this like connection that only an artist can feel to a place. Mm-hmm. So she followed it. You see, she had a dream. She wanted to design her own clothes, make her own dances, start a show on her own. Like, that's what she wanted to do. So like, her husband was like, cool, all right, let's just buy it.
I mean, it was probably like $50,000 at the time, so which would have been, a
$500 down payment. And
yeah. Although at the time that was probably a lot of money, so maybe it was more like $25,000, and then in today's money, that's $1.2 million.
that's how it works. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, like the husband ended up finding the town manager. He's like, hey, please. Anyway, for $45 a month, they got this place.
Okay. I'll take it.
And however, they would be in charge of the repairs. And so they started. She changed the name to the Amargosa Opera House. Is it Opera?
I think it's Armago. I don't think it's Oprah. I don't think it's Oprah.
It's worth mentioning, though. Around this time, Death Valley Junction had been renamed Amargosa for the second time. But back then, it had changed from Amargosa to something else, then to Amargosa again, and whatever. So that's why it was called that, which means bitter water. Really, Amargosa just means bitter, but I guess bitter water was, I don't know who added that, but anyway, the post office came, it was just like a whole thing. They ended up changing it into Death Valley Junction because of the post office. Just because it makes sense like for it to be a junction.
But think about naming your town Bitter.
That's true.
Like,
that's weird.
It's not exactly the most welcoming name you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah. In Cusco, I just remembered in Peru, there's like right around where I was staying at this empty hotel. It was really nice, but it was empty all the time. It was cool. I got some videos. Anyway, there were these streets that were called like Ataúd, and basically like things like coffin, things like
Coffin Street,
morgue.
Oh, maybe that had something to do with like maybe the funeral homes around there or something like that.
Yeah, and actually that's how it used to be back in the day, where like you would name a street off of what's popular there, like what you would sell there. Like if it's a street where like all the meat, the butchers are, they would call it that or whatever.
Meat Street.
Now that would mean something else, but yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so over all this like city stuff, About a year after she got the place, she gave her first performance in 1968. A dozen adults came to watch her.
Okay, that's not a great. Those aren't great numbers.
I mean, you're in the middle of like.
I mean, you would be very important to those people, though. Like, you'd be like the star of the century to those people in that town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just feel kind of bad for her. Like, a dozen adults. Okay, anyway. She didn't give up, though, and she kept performing. She painted, people on the walls to give the hall some life. Painting people.
Okay.
Anyway, she painted the ceilings, decorated everything, and by 1974, it was done. So she took a while. The whole thing started to take shape, and more people were arriving.
Okay.
They added a hotel, a cafe. Other buildings in Death Valley Junction started getting fixed up. Eventually, it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Great.
Yeah. That's an accomplishment. Just
Yeah.
by
I
itself.
mean, she built it and they came,
Yeah. But among all that stuff, right, all the success, okay, you're excited about your place, it also had ghost stories. And they say that some of the rooms in the Amargosa Hotel are reported to be haunted, like room 24, where guests often report hearing the haunting cries of a baby at night, even while there are no families with babies on the premises. Strangely, though, they say that there was a young girl that actually died in the bathtub in that room in 1967. So, yeah. In room 9, they say that it's one of the most haunted rooms in the whole place. And they say that while people are sleeping, guests have reported that something, like an unseen force, holds their legs and feet down.
Ew, I hate that.
I mean, at least they hold it down and like you don't
Not
get lifted.
up. Like, fuck. Wake up and your feet are just pointed at the ceiling. I did have a nightmare recently where I thought, I don't know, it was like my house was like an Airbnb or something like that. And like someone had walked in thinking that they had rented it, but I had rented it and I was already sleeping in the bed. And then and then someone followed that person in and grabbed them by the neck. And then I was like, oh, good. They're like getting rid of this person. But then they were in the dream, they were reaching down to grab me by the neck. And then I woke up kicking directly at like that, like full on kick, like off the bed type, like full body, woke myself up. Kicking just full, because I was just like ready to, defend myself.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's your reaction. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was still just like, when I woke up, I was like, I started laughing because I was like, oh my God, like just happy that no one saw it. You know what I mean?
I would be freaking out. What the heck? What would have triggered something like that though? Like,
I don't know, man. But I generally thrash a lot in my sleep, so it's not unheard of. But this was just this was like a clear, just a weird movement to wake myself up with. That's all. Super weird.
Oh man. So also, in the late evening, while people are getting ready for bed, some guests begin to hear the sounds of a doorknob turning, like somebody's trying to get inside, like just rattling. And they walk up to the door and they open it. They find that there is no one there. But there is a theory about it. They say that the ghost of a child can be heard running and laughing up and down the hall. Perhaps that's who tries to open the door.
Ew.
Yeah.
That gave me chills. That gave me chills for some reason.
Room 32 has the darkest story, though. And this one is creepy. When guests stay in the room, they report feeling a strange sense of uneasiness. They get chills, they feel sudden loss of energy, and they don't know why. I get that, but then I tried vitamin D, and it worked.
Iron will also work too. So
iron,
you can do some
you get
iron.
yourself. Yeah, seriously though, You could tell, like, yeah, like once you get to that age, like you have to go get your, what are you deficient in? Are you eating too much cheese? Are you...
How constipated are you this week? What supplements do you need to take?
Yeah, like, are you farting too much recently? Are you having too much carb content?
Yeah, it could be anything. Sugar? You gotta pay attention to your supplements.
Yeah. Message from Scary Mystery Surprise.
We care.
Anyway, it turns out that in that room 32, was a home to a mining boss. And during the mining times, when times were good, there was lots of stealing and fighting among the miners and those who were making big profits. When people were going to be executed by hanging, they started taking them to this room. They would step inside and not come out alive. But
wait,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, they would take them to that room
to execute them.
Yeah, to hang them.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wait, what was this building? Was it the courtroom? Or
no, I mean, it just says like it was room 32. So I don't know if it was a room before, but you know, like if you're a mining boss, right? You own this, but you're like, I'm gonna kill you. So you bring a person, you hang them in your room. Like that's what's a big power move.
I guess.
It's like the Suites where you go and you stab someone to death and you're a mobster or something. That's how I imagined it when I first read it.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, but there's lots of more, you know, there's lots of stuff in that place than just the rooms. One of the areas in the hotel, there's this place that was never renovated and it looks all worn down and just creepy. And I can just see it already. Like I didn't look any pictures up. But anyway, this area is called the Spooky Hollow by the staff because it was once used as a hospital and a morgue. And things like noises on the walls, footsteps, showers that turn on by themselves, shadows that appear on the stage, some, you know, noises that you hear in the middle of the night, sometimes early in the morning, are all things that are very common to hotels, but also, you know, like haunted hotels, I guess, but common in this area. But just imagine, though, being in the middle of this just vast desert-y area, and you hear all those things. Like, really, where are you going to go?
It's true.
You're just kind of screwed. You're haunted. But anyway, that place, like you said earlier, was investigated by a bunch of paranormal groups, not just Ghost Adventures. And they have caught a few things. So if you want to see that episode, find it. I don't know which one it is, but because I haven't seen it. But
go find it.
Go find it. Go watch it. Let me know how it is. Let me see. Michelle, you know that I think I told you, like, when we were recording our previous thing for Randonautica, I told you that I liked long drives, like really long ones. And because I think I liked them because I used to drive down the desert.
Yeah.
And there was a few times that actually I went to Vegas, like driving around, you know, there. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, I see all these signs. I don't know if they're like, I don't know if it was because on the map I could see them or like was looking out for them, but there are all these towns that are ghost towns. Like they're just empty places. Well, one of these times, I was with a couple of friends that I had met on couch surfing, and they said, hey, they wanted to go to Vegas and the Grand Canyon and see all these places. And we're like, sure, let's just go. We went for like a weekend. Like we had one of those long weekends, and we ended up at this ghost town. I forgot the name of it, but it wasn't like just an empty town like you would imagine. Anyway, so these towns aren't just like empty, like there's nothing there. They're actually tourist like places. There's a caretaker, you know, that lives in a trailer. They have electricity. They have, I don't know how they get it. But we drove by. Nobody came out. Nobody came out to greet us. Nobody said anything. We're just driving. We stopped the car. We try to get out. Like open the car, but then we just got this creepy feeling like we shouldn't be here. This is weird. Like this is really weird. So I kind of, you know, anyway, I learned to watch out for that, but it was really creepy. And like, I think the bigger danger for me was like, we're probably going to get shot here or something's going to happen.
You know, I'm more scared of people like, you know, running into a weird hick out in the desert is way weirder. Like, yeah. A proper desert rat can be pretty scary sometimes.
Yeah, and I can imagine though, like back in the day, in the 1960s, 1970s, like, I mean, I don't think it was any better. I think if anything, you're less connected. There's
big time. And people that move out there want to live out there. They want to be alone. They want to collect the rusty cars on their property. Like they want. There's a certain person that moves out there because it's not easy to live out there. So you just, give them their space. You just gotta give them their space. That's all.
Yeah, and that's why I figured like this person, Martha, it's like why there? Like, you're used to Broadway. You've done things.
No, the desert is like seductive in a way, though. I mean, but it is like committing to a very hard way of life.
So seductive.
It is seductive. It's like, I don't know. The nights there are so nice. Like, the mornings are nice.
The day sucks.
The day sucks terribly. But the rest of it, magical.
Yeah. I mean, I like the desert too, but it's like, it just seems such a, like, you just be lonely there. Like, you're just so much space, around you. Like here, I don't get to see the horizon, and I'm okay with that for now. I just see like houses and trees, But anyway, I wonder what our listeners have to say here. Do you like the desert? Let us know. Would you live out there?
Ooh. I mean, I think I would if I could buy a house, but also I like being around things, like stuff that's going on. So
I like being around stores.
What are you talking about? There's like a Walmart and then a super Walmart like across the street a lot of the time out there. So, I mean, it's not always picturesque. There's a lot of sprawl. There's a lot of Amazon distribution centers out there now.
So, what are we going to talk about next week, Michelle?
I don't know, but I think it'll be a surprise.
Yeah. Okay.